Hey everybody, it's me again, Blaine, and I've had a lot of requests ask me how did I get my Tesla Model Y in such a quick manner. From the time I ordered it to the time that I picked it up, I only had to wait a total of 18 days. A lot of people have to wait months, multiple months, it all depends, but I do have some suggestions that can help you get to that quicker pickup time than most people. Just stick around. All right, so really the first thing that you're going to do is when you go and place your order, you place the order online and you need to quickly go through all the steps that they ask you to do. Once you get done with the steps and you get everything finalized, wait about a day or two, and then what I did is I called a sales rep in a local dealership in my state. When I called that salesman, I got a hold of a lady on the phone and told her that I was looking to see if they had any demos or anything else that I could maybe pick up quicker. She said at the time there wasn't any demos. She asked me what my RN number was. I gave it to her. She looked in the system, and sure enough, she found one that was on its way to my state that I live in, and it wasn't assigned to anybody at the time. She said, however, it had a couple upgrades on it compared to what I was currently looking for. It had the 20-inch wheels and a tow package. It was going to be an extra $3,000. I said, all right, let's do it. So she was able to instantly assign that vehicle to my name, and I was able to get the VIN number from her, and next thing I know, I looked in the system within about an hour or two, and it's already in my account showing that that vehicle was assigned to me. I was told it was going to be about 2.5 weeks from that point to get the vehicle. Actually, in about a week, I ended up getting a call and saying that my vehicle was even going to be there earlier, and I just had to figure out how to get to the dealership and get it picked up. So the main thing I wanted to tell everybody was you need to stay on top of it and ask questions. Get out there and ask questions. Now, I'm going to go into the next part. I'm actually going to tell you exactly what I did and what steps I took to get to that point. I just wanted to try to make a little quick version for you there. So if you wanted to move on, you can. Please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. So first of all, I had a great experience from day one to going through to picking up my vehicle. Everything really just seemed like it fell in place for me. I got extremely lucky. I understand that not everybody is going to be that lucky. Not everybody's going to have such a good experience. But the thing is, like I learned in the military, you got to look out for yourself. You got to call the right people and stay on top of them. Okay, that's what you need to do. So the first thing I did was on August 11th, I placed the order for my 2020 Model Y. When I ordered it, it told me at the time it was going to take me about 4 to 7 weeks till delivery. And I was fine with that. After I placed the order, within the next day, I received a text message saying that they were letting me know that I needed to log back into the account and go through all the other steps of making sure everything's right. You have to upload your driver's license. You got to fill out stuff on there about how you're going to finance it. Do you want to finance it through them? Are you going to trade in a vehicle? Do you have a trade-in if you're not? And you have to get in there and get all those steps completed. And you won't be able to do those until you get that text message saying, hey, we've got your order. Now you need to get back in there and log back in. After that, then it's on a waiting period. Then it was about 3 days later, it was around August 14th on a Friday. My wife and I was driving down the road, and she asked me, she said, Blaine, do you think that they have any demos? Do you think they have any used vehicles for sale? And I'm like, well, I don't think there's going to be any used ones because the vehicle's such a new vehicle. So she's like, well, why don't you call somebody? So I looked up a dealership that was probably about 6 hours away from me, but it's still in the same state. And I got a hold of a salesperson, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have any vehicles available, a demo or anything like that? And she said, unfortunately, no. She said, They go through them pretty quickly. However, if they do have any, it's going to be at the end of the quarters. That's when you have your opportunity to pick up a demo. But then the lady asked me, she's like, well, she said, what's your RN number? What's your order number? So I gave it to her, and she looked it up, and she saw what type of vehicle I wanted, which at the time I wanted a long range, all-wheel drive, non-performance, white, with white interior and 19-inch wheels. To me, that's pretty basic. That's all I wanted. And she looked it up, and she put me on hold, and then came back on a few minutes later, and she says, hey, I got some good news for you. I actually found one that's on its way here to our state, and it's not assigned to anybody. Really, I assumed that the vehicle is probably coming to their sales center to use as a demo. So anyway, she said it wasn't assigned, and she'd have to look into it a little bit more to make sure what options it had on there. But if I was interested, let her know. And I'm like, yeah, look into it. So she put me on hold again, and then she came back on. She said, well, the unfortunate thing is it's white. It's got the white interior. However, it's a long range, all-wheel drive. She said it has the 20-inch induction wheels, and it's got the tow package. She said if I want it, she can assign my name to it right now. However, I do have to pay the extra $3,000 for those two items. It's $1,000 for the tow hitch or the tow package, and $2,000 for the induction wheels. So I talked to my wife real quick about it. We looked at each other, and we're like, yeah, we'll take it. I'm very happy I did. I love the wheels, and I love the fact that I got the tow hitch if I ever need it. So anyways, the lady put me back on hold again for a few minutes. She came back on, and she said, all right, it's yours. It's assigned to you. And I'm like, well, do you got a VIN number? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. So she texted it to me, and I had the VIN number, and that was it. So within a couple hours after getting home, I logged back into the account, and sure enough, that model vehicle was on my account, showing as assigned to me, and everything's good. Oh, before we got off the phone with her, she also said that I should be able to pick it up on September 5th. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty quick. That was, because they said 4 to 7 weeks. So I was pretty happy getting it a lot sooner. So a week went by, and I ended up getting a phone call from the Tesla service center, which they do the deliveries. And they called me up and said, hey, your vehicle's almost here. It's going to be here in a couple of days, and we'd like to go ahead and schedule you for pickup. Are you available? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, you can pick it up on August 20. They called me on August 21st. They said I could pick it up between August 28th and the 30th. And so I'm like, well, let me try to figure out my schedule. Can I call you back? So I called my wife. We worked it out. We figured out on a Saturday. I called them back. They said, yep, you can pick it up on Saturday the 29th. They scheduled me for 4 p.m. We had a 5-hour drive to go to the sales center. So we loaded up on Saturday morning, drove to, it was Jacksonville, Florida, is where we had to pick it up at. We checked into a hotel room first, and then went to the sales center, picked up the vehicle, and stayed the night in Jacksonville at the hotel, and then the next morning we drove home. And it was a great experience. Now, I made another video that you can go and check out on my channel and see the delivery process. When we got there, we picked it up, and then my drive home, and then I stopped at a couple supercharger stations. So I just wanted the experience to see how they worked. But please check out that video, and also make sure you subscribe at the same time. Now, a couple other things that some people asked me about is, as soon as I found out that I had a VIN number and I had the car coming, I called my insurance company. And now we had just gotten rid of a 2019 Avalon from my wife, and we still kept our other vehicle. So we were paying at the time about $100 a month for her Avalon, for a $500 deductible, everything else. We had to upgrade it, towing, and upgraded car rental as well. So my insurance company is Progressive. So I called them up and said, hey, can you give me a quote on the Tesla Model Y? I gave them the VIN number. Well, instantly, they didn't ask me any questions. They didn't say, does it have this? Do you have this safety feature? Because I guess in the system, the vehicle has everything. And the guy did his calculations. He came back and said, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I said, how much is my monthly payment going to be? And he's like, he was like $47 a month. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be $47. I'm like, I was paying $100 a month for a cheaper vehicle, and it was only a year old. And he said, yeah, this vehicle here is one of the safest vehicles out on the market. So I'm like, wow. So we got this vehicle here for only $47 a month for our insurance. Another question people ask me is about my, how did I finance it? Well, at first I did try financing it through Tesla. I went ahead and clicked the link just to see what they'd offer me. And I believe they came back and gave me an offer approved for like 4.4%, which that was just too high for me. I was hoping to get something a lot lower. So the next morning I got on the phone and called my local credit union that I've used in the past, and they went through the process and they called me back with an offer, and it was 1.7% for 72 months. And at 1.7%, I was like, wow, that's awesome. So of course I took it. I also added in the gap insurance through my finance company, and that's it, man. It's been a great experience. My seat's moving on me now. It's been a great experience. I've had so far not a whole lot of issues with the vehicle. I've got a couple gap issues, a seat alignment issue. If you actually look right there in the video, you can see how my middle seat sits down lower than my passenger seat right there. So I do have an appointment next week at the service center. I'm going to go there and have them try to fix everything. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll let you guys know. And please subscribe, like my videos, check out my channel, check out the other videos. I'm going to start doing a lot more videos, anything that I can come up with that has to do with the Tesla. If there's any videos that you'd like to see me create, please like down below and leave me a comment. And again, thanks for checking this out, and have a great day. Thanks.